said, hey, it'd be a good idea for us to cohabitate, and that's when things started going downhill.
The issue began when Kendra left the couches standing up. We have young children, so that's dangerous for our children. This is psychotic.
It's obvious you clearly didn't get along.
She's got feelings for me. She would call me nonstop, hundreds of text messages.
You did call him.
I mean, I'm an attractive older woman. I think that he has a secret crush on me.
Plaintiff Kendra Anderson says living with her childhood BFF was a nightmare. She realized they couldn't be more opposite. She's suing for $1,672.32 for damage to her property. Defendant, Allegra Miller, says it's the plaintiff who acted like a psycho, upending the furniture and letting meat rot in the kitchen cabinets.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Morning, Najee.
This is case 65 on the docket, Anderson versus Miller.
And let's see who we have here. We have Ms. Anderson.
Yes.
And you are suing the defendant, Ms. Miller, in the amount of $1,672 for the value of personal property.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why don't I hear your side of the story first?
Let me just establish how I know Miss Miller.
Sure.
We actually had a lemonade stand when we were younger, when we were children.
Oh, so you're childhood friends?
Correct.
Oh, okay,
yes,
great.
So we grew up together. She actually had a dance studio, which I participated in, I supported. Fast forward, she came to me and said, hey, I just really want to know if you can move in with me. I said, hey, it'd be a good idea for us to cohabitate with our children, seeing as though you're a mom, I'm a mom, we're not with our children's father.
Where did this thing turn south?
I said, I noticed that your boyfriend is living here. And she said, hey, he's not living here. I said, okay.
How often was he there?
Every day. I confronted her. I said, hey, if he's going to be living here, we need to split the rent 3 ways. It's only fair. He's an adult who's above the age of 18.
Sure.
She did not agree, and that's when things started going downhill. She began to mess with my belongings. She began to
What do you mean she messed with your belongings?
She had messed with my sofa. She put the sofa actually in front of the door, which prevents me from coming inside the home.
We didn't even use the front door. So I moved the couch because it fallen twice. If it's down there at the bottom, then if it falls, it's on the steps, not where my son plays, which is in that living room.
Not only that, I came back home, and it looks as though she broke into my door.
We see that. What's your explanation for that?
So I'm gonna start from the beginning of where I know everything is true about we were childhood friends.
Yeah.
Her baby father left her and her son on a mattress in her apartment, so she moved back in with her parents. They were real strict, like you gotta be in by certain times. So
yeah.
She's like, I need to go. All right, understandable. So I'm looking around, I had looked at the different properties, so that's how I became the primary leaseholder.
So your name is on the lease?
Both of our names are on the lease.
Both.
I'm just the primary leaseholder,
Okay.
which means they reach out to me for issues, whatever.
Yeah.
Fast forward to July 15th when we moved into our place.
Yeah.
My boyfriend helped me pack up all of my stuff. Then we went to Kendra's parents' house, and my boyfriend, along with all of his friends, helped pack up all of her things as well. The issue began when I was doing my nails downstairs one day, and I do my own nails, so they were wet. She comes in, and I guess one of her dudes was there, so she's like, can you move the car so he could park? I'm not stopping my nails to move a car for somebody who doesn't live here. She began to unplug all the cable cords, things like that from the TV, take them upstairs. Kendra left the couches standing up like this. They fell twice. We have young children, so that's dangerous for our children. She also spread it out tacks all across the floor. I have a 3-year-old, she has a child who crawls. She spread it out tacks all across the floor.
Time out. Why?
Your Honor, I was in the process of moving,
Yeah.
so that's why the things were up and getting ready to move, because I was prepping for the U-Haul.
But the thumbtacks?
Oh, I didn't do that. I didn't do the thumbtacks at all. She had thumbtacks, and she actually put them onto the couch.
I was giving them back to her after I had stepped on them several times.
It's obvious you clearly didn't get along.
This is something else, Your Honor. Like, she would hide my food in the cabinets. So then I left her a note that said, this is psychotic. Why would you put my meat that belongs in the freezer, why would you allow it to thaw out and put it in there? So I left a note.
That's not true, Your Honor.
30 minutes, excuse me,
Well,
30
who
minutes
put the
later.
food in there?
I put the frozen food out because I was thawing it out.
So you put it in the cabinet, sweetie?
No, I didn't put it in the cabinet.
I guess I put it in there and took pictures, but 30 minutes later, it ended up back in here. So imagine if she would've, if I would've fed this to my son.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
dangerous.
All of
That
this
food was
stuff.
actually not hers at all. It was actually my food that I purchased from Giant.
You never bought
I
groceries.
purchased ground turkey from
All right.
Giant, and I had the
Oh,
receipt for
okay.
that as well. She actually took one of all of my shoes, and these are the two shoes here.
You took one of each of her pair of shoes. So what? She can hop around?
She would throw parties in the middle of the night while my son and I were asleep.
Yeah.
So she had people in and out the house. There was dudes sleeping on the couch. So I don't know who messed with her stuff. She wore kangaroo shoes, not Uggs. I didn't need that. No. So I didn't do
So
anything
you
to her
didn't take
belongings.
you didn't take her shoes.
No.
What about this washer and dryer?
So
Who has it?
she has
the
the
property
washer and
has
dryer.
it. The property has it. She had put
Oh,
a
you don't, because you claim she took the washer dryer.
So when we first moved in, she didn't have enough money to to move forward with paying the prorated amount of the rent.
Yeah.
She was a school teacher.
How would
or
I be
something
the
dealing with
primary
the
leaseholder if I
But
didn't-
However, she decided to ask me, hey, I really need a favor. Can you pay the $1,200 that the property management is asking? I said, hey, okay, I understand you won't get paid until
You
the later
freely give
months
somebody
because the
$1,200.
summer
Come on.
of the 2017,
So
I believe.
where's the receipt on the purchase for the washer and dryer?
So I purchased it off Marketplace. So I have the messages between him and I. But Kendra had put a hole in the wall when she was moving out and said, I had video where she was like, we'll just blame Allegra because she didn't know I was standing there. So to reach out to the property, I asked him, could I leave the washer and dryer
Your Honor,
in
I
lieu,
have the receipt here.
Yeah.
in lieu of it that she was trying to put on me? How do you ever receive a washer and dryer that I had control over? So in lieu
That's not true, Your Honor.
in lieu of her damages to the hole in the wall, so the property manager has the washer and dryer.
Okay, so neither of you have it?
No.
All right. You guys are both mothers.
It's petty.
I mean, on both sides, it's putting up couches, tax. I mean, I know you're upset about it. That's why you filed a suit. But I don't see either of you really treating this as this is the way we should behave. You wouldn't want your kids behaving like that. I am therefore dismissing the case.
The last time I seen Kendra, she had hit me and ran off in a U-Haul truck with all of my belongings. I had pictures of my son's items, toys in her garage that I took pictures of. Nah, if y'all that broke that y'all need my items, take it.
It could have gone a different way if she didn't present inauthentic information. However, that's just her personality, and that's what the effects are from when you do illicit behavior and illicit drugs.
Plaintiff Stephanie Schroeder says the defendant is obsessed with her and will use any excuse to stay in her life. She's suing for $4,970 for an unpaid personal loan. Defendant Aaron Osborne says it's actually the plaintiff who's obsessed with him and comes to his house asking for
Right
hugs.
hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
This is case number 162 on the docket, Schroeder versus Osborne.
Okay, and welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
We have the plaintiff, Ms. Schroeder.
Yes.
You are suing your former friend, Aaron Osborne,
Yeah.
for $4,970 for unpaid personal loan plus late fees. Why don't you tell me your side of the story?
About 4 months ago, I loaned Aaron a total of $1,700.
Okay?
I have copies of the checks that he cashed. One was for $500, another one was for $1,000, and then there was $200 cash. And it was supposed to be a short-term loan. He was going through some financial difficulties, and I offered to help him out as a friend.
$1,500 in checks and then $200 in cash. Okay.
We drew up a contract. I have a copy of that here. And
$1,700 loan to be paid back on January 5th of 2019.
Yes.
Interest rate 30%. Oh, and there is also collateral.
correct. However,
The collateral listed here is Lenovo ThinkPad, Breitling watch.
yes, Judge, however, that watch turned out to be fake.
The collateral listed here is Lenovo ThinkPad, Breitling watch.
Yes, Judge, however, that watch turned out to be fake, so it would be illegal for me to sell it.
Oh, you mean it's a knockoff?
Yes,
And a printer scanner. Okay, but anyway, this is the security you took for the loan.
Yes.
You're here because he didn't pay you back, is what you're saying.
Yes, that's correct. He was supposed to pay me back in January, and he said that he was going to pay me through a cash out from his employer of unused vacation pay. That never happened. And then he said he was going to pay me out of a 401k hardship withdrawal, and then that never happened. And then he said he was going to pay me from unemployment check that he was going to get, but he never got that, so therefore I never got paid. And then I believe he actually tried to gamble to try to get the money to pay me back, but of course that didn't work out either because, well, gambling usually doesn't work out.
Yeah. What do you have to say?
Your Honor, I feel like I don't owe the money. I did take the loan out originally. She offered it to me. I was making payments to her. I made a $240 payment, and I made a $160 payment.
And you paid, here it says $400.
Yeah, I made up to
based on what you just
$400
told me. You agree that the $400 was paid?
No, because
$240 and $160?
what he told me is that he left cash out by a walkway that was near my house in an envelope and expected me to go get it at some point when I had no idea it was even there. So
Okay,
there's
time out. Really?
So we were
sorry.
we were communicating on the phone. She was demanding that I brought a payment to her that night. So 30 text messages later and several phone calls later, she knew I was coming straight after work to her house, and I told her that I would be there within 15 minutes. I showed up. I called her multiple times. I sent her multiple text messages telling her that I was in front of her house. She decided to stop responding, not answer her phone. So I decided to leave the payment on her property or near her property in a hidden location. My fault for doing that, but I sent her pictures and specific instructions on where I hid that payment so that she had it when she walked out her house.
I looked and there was nothing there. And I even did a test to see. I put an envelope out there myself with a note in it and I sealed it. And I waited for a couple days just to see if somebody would pick it up. And I went back out there. It was still, the envelope was still there. Nobody had opened it. So I don't think that he ever left a payment there. I think this is just another made-up story.
Leaving it in the bushes someplace. Why not in the mailbox? Why not under the door?
Well, I had never actually been to her house before, so I didn't know specifically where she lived, but I
Whoa,
knew.
whoa, yeah, that makes it even
But
riskier.
What's frustrating about all this, Your Honor, is I feel like, and just, I mean, to be frank, there was some history with my feelings that there's feelings. She's got feelings for me, and why I feel like that is because she would call me nonstop, hundreds of text messages over
Do
and
you
over
have
and
some of
over.
them?
I do on my phone, but I don't have my phone with me.
But you did call him.
Well, yeah.
She'd show up-
It's
she'd show
not a
up to my
crime.
house.
If you were interested in him, you're interested in him.
No, actually, Judge, I think it's the converse, because I think that he is interested in me because he knows that as soon as he pays me, I'm going to cut him off and I'm never going to see him again. And I mean, I'm an attractive older woman. I think that he has a secret crush on me. But I'm married. Like, I am a happily married woman. I have like no interest in being with anybody
How
else
often-
because I love my husband.
She would show up to my house, Your Honor, unannounced, asking me for hugs. I mean, just like the most random, you know. I mean, if you're so happily married.
I went to his house because I needed to verify where he lived so that I could get the process server to serve him notice for small claims. That's the reason that I went there, because I needed to verify his address.
So that was the only time you'd been there.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting, what may or may not have been going on, what the motive is. The reality is there was a loan, and you don't dispute that. So the question is, what has been paid back? Even if we dispense with the $400 saying it never got to her, and if you're paying her back.
I do have proof, Your Honor, of the second payment that I sent to her.
Was this by
digitally.
mail or what? Or did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Proof, yeah, because she didn't receive the first payment that I left.
Okay.
Supposedly. Send a payment electronically.
Okay, so the 160 we've got evidence of.
Yeah. And I honestly feel like she's not happily married, like she's saying. I mean, if you're texting me that you want to hook up and showing up
Do
to
you
people-
have, I need some evidence that this is happening. if she's texting you, let's hook up, if you're saying there are hundreds, or let's say that's an exaggeration, there are lots of phone calls or text messages to you, how can you show up there without evidence of that? Because that would be significant evidence. You just didn't bring it? You knew you were coming to court.
Honestly,
yeah,
I would,
that's the only thing we
I would
can have here.
continuously delete the text messages as I kept getting them.
All right.
I didn't save them on my phone. I never thought that, I was very surprised
That you got sued
that
for
I got
this.
sued
Okay.
for this, to be honest.
All right.
Because
Now, whatever the motive was, so far we know you paid back 160. Now, there were items in collateral. The point of collateral is recognizing the possibility that you won't be paid back, so therefore you can use the collateral, and that takes the place of the money that is owed on the debt.
Yes.
Now, the one item that you're mentioning here, which you now have second thoughts about, is the Breitling watch, which
Right.
you say is a knockoff.
Yes.
Do we have it here?
No, I didn't bring it.
We got, okay. When you bring lawsuits, you really do need to bring the evidence. I understand that you're saying the watch is fake.
Yes.
It's not here, so again, I don't have proof of that. But even accepting that it's worth less, that's what's in this contract. So you're asking me to estimate. There's no question that if everything here was its real value, there's no question that these items would be repayment, because you could hold them then. You have legal right to keep these items then, because that's repayment of your $1,700 loan. So the only thing which makes this case a little more difficult is that the Breitling watch may not be worth what you had reason to believe it was worth. For that to be answered, I need some evidence. I need proof.
Well, I can tell you when I took it to a jewelry store to see what they would give me for it if I did sell it.
Do you have that statement?
No, I don't.
And this, by the way,
the
it's-
items are definitely worth more than the original loan that I took from her.
Hardly.
Okay, all right. Well, see, what's happening here is two people arguing, neither of whom have any evidence. I'm surprised anyway that you would accept collateral for things that you didn't have proof of what they were worth, just from your point of view. Somebody hands me something, oh, this is very valuable, let this be for paying me back $1,700. Well, maybe it's not worth that. So I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm saying you should have checked this out and come here with evidence prior to the time of you accepting it as collateral for your loan.
Okay.
And you still have possession of these items.
Yes, he can have them back.
If you have possession of these items, this is what you agreed to as repayment for your $1,700 suit, so therefore I have to dismiss the claim.
I think he still has a crush on me, and he'll probably keep pestering me.
No harassing phone calls, no more text messages. Just let me get back to my life and move forward.